The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hi, race fans. Welcome alive tonight here at Bristol Motorspeedway short track racing for the Sim500 Nemesis Lab K&N series. Well, these guys met about to storm the ground, a short track tonight here. Been off for a little bit, but we're back at it again. I tell you, up here in the booth, Joe White, accompanied by Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for another race. Last week, if you remember, everyone watching, we had not too many cautions until the end, and then it was just full of big ones. And that was at the largest track. Now we're heading over to the smallest track, just half a mile long. I can't wait to see this incredible race with some of the best drivers here on iRacing.
Man, no doubt about it. You said it right there. And a short track to deal with, too. Tonight, Bristol is one of these tracks where, well, it can be tricky and it can be devastating at the same time as qualifying is underway. All the happenings here, but let's go to the race side of things and let's see who right now is on top. Looks like Timothy Johnson's the man holding the top spot down, but they're still qualifying for the moment with the K&N in the car. We've talked about it last week. Tires, and tonight tires will be a huge factor when they go around this short track.
Absolutely. Tire fall off is huge here, especially at Bristol. It's bad enough, and then with this new tire model that iRacing has implemented, a lot of guys are still learning it, still getting used to it. I imagine we're going to see a whole lot of people pitting every single caution, so be prepared for that. Track position is going to be huge. It's hard to make passes here, but you can make them high or low. It's a driver's track, and that's what we got to pay attention to.
And you're right, you alluded to right there, talking about high or low. We're going to see all kinds of grooves. I think eventually, though, they're going to move up to that high side. And again, I don't know, because this is the first time I've done this track with the new tire model. And they implemented that last year, along with a lot of the other cars here with the K&N. So it's going to be interesting to see which groove they pick. Right now, it looks like a lot of guys are traveling up high. I talked to some of the drivers beforehand. They said the top side's where they want to be, but we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Absolutely right. I'm seeing a lot of guys running the middle here in qualifying, which is surprising. The bottom of the track is quick, but if those tires are cold, I imagine that having to run the middle is your only option if you don't want to be running up at the wall at the Larson line. So that could be it. We could see that, with cold tires, we're not going to be able to get going on the bottom after restarts when the tires are cold. Going down to the bottom is the 71, actually. I had my eyes on him. Just took a turn into the wall there. So you're already seeing it. It's tough for these guys. It's hard to keep control of these cars when they're on new tires.
No doubt about it. Looks like we've got a top man right there. Tommy Ryan puts it on top for the pole so far. Good time by him as at 15 seconds around. Looks like qualifying. We've got about another minute or so. Want to appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Freshmen and all. Looks like Thomas Leary's going to try it again. He's going to go back in there and see if he can't get it done. Well, I mean, as far as seeing what groove these guys are going to play here tonight, what's maybe some of the strategies they got to watch out for?
That's tough. Like we saw last week, a lot of teamwork. We saw the two brothers working together. We were talking about them a lot. The Ryan brothers working together. You can't really do that here. Maybe you can get away with something on the restarts. So the biggest strategy is fend for yourself. Be very careful out there. Make sure you don't get wrecked because you have to go around this track 200 times. I suppose that always is the strategy, though, is don't get wrecked. But especially here where it's so easy for it to happen. You get a little bit tight and you wash up into the guy on top of you. There's nowhere for cars to dodge it. I mean, it takes 3 cars sideways to block the entire straightaway. So it's very easy to get caught up in a caution here, easier than most other tracks. I'm expecting some damage on almost every car. That's just how it is. I've won races here in the K&N cars with a destroyed front end. It's all about maintaining the car, though, and not damaging it too much, but also not playing it too safe either, because you got to be up near the front. It's hard to make passes here. And
you're right. I mean, you just said it right there. You can get around here. Aerodynamics definitely not the huge factor being a short track like it is. You can come out here with almost a modified look machine and still end up in a good finish. I think, as long as the motor's not hurt or whatnot, you should be okay. But it looks like qualifying has came to a close. We're going to get set here to go around this place tonight. Bristol Motorspeedway, short track racing for the Nemesis Lab K&N Series. Bringing on by the Sim500 guys here. Let's grid these guys up and see. And on pole, Tommy Ryan, put it out front. We got Anthony DeBarro starting in second, Josh Parker there in third. Timothy Johnson hanging on to the fourth place spot. E.J. O'Rourke up to fifth. Matt Lacrosse there in the sixth spot. Steve Ritter seventh. Nick Silver up in the eighth. Chad Cole in ninth. And Chad Coleman's going to round out the top 10s. Look to the rest of it here. I always say this, Jeff, man, we got some bad, fast drivers, some bad, fast hot rods, but awful bad, fast things on a short track tonight. Absolutely, and I think we're going to get this confused here. We got Chad Cole starting 9th and Chad Coleman starting 10th. Cole is on the 17. It's the Chad and Chad show.
Joey Gattina, he was a force to be reckoned with last week. Bobby Wetzel in 13th. Steve Gottschalk in 14th. Hopefully he got a fast race car this week. I think I made that joke last week, but it happens. It's a good joke. I'm going to stick with it.
There you go.
Starting in 15th, we got Scott Simley. Jay Graves Jr., 16th. Thomas O'Leary, we saw him go for a spin in qualifying there in 17th. Jeff Ryan, brother of the pole sitter, in 18th, 19th. Brian V. Macklin, and Don Runkle Jr. in 20th.
There you go, man. I tell you what. So a good-looking set of drivers out here. A lot of the Sim500 favorites. You also see them on the Joe Gibbs off-season winter series sim racing that we do on the Monday nights. We were off this past Monday, but we will be back here this Monday. Don't forget, I don't know if you're ready, but we do that on the Joe Gibbs Facebook page, by the way, there, Jeff. And it is kind of interesting because some of the Joe Gibbs Racing employees and the drivers, they come out and participate in it. But come Super Bowl night, during halftime, we will have a special race. It'll be the end of that series during the halftime show, so tune in for that. It'll be interesting to watch and see. You can see a lot of your fan favorites here from the Sim500. Start pulling them around.
That could be what I watch over the Super Bowl itself. I'm a Patriots guy. I'm a bit heartbroken this year. But then again, I'm a sports fan from Boston. It's tough being a sports fan from Boston, let me tell you. Because we haven't won a championship in like 5 or 6 months, and I'm starting to get tired of it. I'll be honest with you.
I'm from Carolina, so I mean, hey, look, I feel you, and we got. Well, I don't want to get off track here too, but we got the bad news. Our main star linebacker just retired on us, so that's wow, that's devastating. But either way, hey, but I'm also in the heart here of NASCAR, so that's another thing, and it's about to kick off its season here pretty soon. As we're going to kick this race off here tonight for the virtual world here of iRacing. I tell you, I always say it, it's the realest thing you can get without spending millions of dollars to go out and buy your own car. And, well, that's set to go here for the virtual track of Bristol.
Doug Covey may not agree with us, but I think these drivers are some of the best right here. This is going to be an awesome 200 laps of racing. Let's get it fired up. Let's get it underway. Let's see. I'm checking that off my list. Doug Covey jab. Check. What do we got next?
Well, yeah, I'm not even going to get into all that because, hey, you know, I feel the real side's got there, the virtual side's got there, and tonight, pace cars in. We're going racing. Green flag flies, the man out front. We'll take it around. We're going to see if right now you got new tires. The cars feel good. You're going to be able to take them around this track side by side for the moment. But after a while, you're going to see these guys get single file the best they can.
Josh Parker started on the inside, and what's surprising to me in that 23, he moved up to the outside as the 21 who started on the outside, the 27, excuse me, Anthony DeBarro, gets around on the outside. I'm seeing the fast lane being the top side of this track like we were talking about.
And it is. It looks like everybody's wanting to travel up to the top side. As you see Matt Lacrosse right there up the fifth. You got E.J. O'Rourke. He's kind of sliding back a little bit, but he's up underneath there with a 41 machine. You also got Steve Ritter there and the company. They're side by side. Just everybody's up top single file for the moment. I think that's going to be the norm here at Bristol.
Big run there by the 99, but he can't go anywhere with it. The top line is fastest. Where can he go? He can't make a pass on the guy up top if he's running the wall. This could be one of the stories of the race that we have to keep an eye on.
You know, and that's the thing, too. But when you got new tires, now is the time where you want to get it done. You want to be able to get in there, and you want to make all you can early on. You don't want to obviously wreck your car, but you want to try to get everything you can here tonight. As you see Steve Goschalk up there into the wall, that's another danger area. Getting up there too close to the wall and scraping it like he did, and he's losing positions.
Oh, yeah. Tom Ryan in the 99 just got him shot to the back bumper as the 28, the 23, and the 45 all work their way around on the bottom, doing a little bit of wreck avoidance. But tell you what, Anthony DeBarro here is pulling away. He's got a couple tenths, probably about, 10 car lengths over the rest of the field.
So far, so good. Everybody's being kind of patient up front. As you're looking here, Tommy Ryan still up high. Anthony DeBarro takes the top spot. Steve Ritter looks like he wants to take that spot. He's trying to dive it on the inside. Oh, 45 got loose. Ryan's around.
I don't see a caution out on track.
He got spun around, though. He was able to spin it, do a full 360 and keep going before the car actually stopped.
That's some skillful driving right there. Do not ever lift. Bring the car around. As the 27, I'm sure he wants to go as many green laps as possible here. He's looking in the rear view. He's trying out different lines right now. He's just out there piloting the thing. He's figuring out what works. He's got this advantage over the field. This is key research now in the first 10 laps. So you know in the last 10 laps what's going to work and what isn't.
Absolutely. And you got Josh Parker up to third right now. Anthony DeBarro out front, calling the silver bullet in his normal car. Tonight looks like he's just showing him in a white machine.
I've lost track of the 99. He's way, way back. 9 seconds back now is Tommy Ryan. Started on the pole, got into the wall. He's currently running 33rd on track out of 36 cars.
Yeah, he spun around. He's got a heavy damage on the right side of that machine. I mean, he hit the wall pretty hard.
And that's frustrating. I'll tell you what, as a driver, that is just so infuriating, especially if you're the guy responsible for it. It's just a mental mistake you made. You sit there and you kick yourself over it, and then 50 laps down the line, it's still impacting you. You're mad at yourself and you're overthinking it.
Absolutely you are there. I tell you what, what's up, Christian? How you doing out there? That bump and run, Martinsville style. And that will come into play here. It's something we haven't talked about, Jeff, and haven't talked about it in a long time, is bump and run. I mean, it happens. Short track racing at its best. Right now, these guys, man, are putting it in the groove.
My friend, let me tell you what. We have a caution on track. I'll go to my story after we figure out who has wrecked.
Doug Roth, Jonathan Lockhart.
Doug Roth and Jonathan Lockhart have gone around.
See what happened here is Watson. Looks like a car blinked in front of him, and it looks like just tried to go on the inside of Doug, and they just got together. Next thing you know, boom. With. Like they was just kind of checking up what was happening there.
And a bit of an accordion effect took them both out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, not too bad.
As Denny Hamlin impersonating Joey Logano would say, it's short track racing. We can expect a little bit more of that on lap 17 here.
Man.
It's short track racing.
That's what he would say, wouldn't he? Uh-huh.
Hey, I mean, Joey Logano, he's a Connecticut guy. You grow up there at the short track, Stafford, Thompson, Seekonk, those local tracks where they're all pretty much under half a mile or under. That's what you do. That's how you win. If you got the door open going into 3 on the last lap, you've got to take it. You put your nose in there, you push the guy up out of the way. That's how I got.
You're right. Yep.
That's how I got my last win here at Bristol on iRacing. In a K&N car. Man, I just sent it into the turn. I got on the brakes, I pushed the guy up the track and drove around him. He wasn't happy, but at the same time, that's what you do. And I can, you know, I don't like making bets on the races that I call, but I'm willing to bet that if I were to put money on it, I would be able to afford my own race car if I bet enough. That there's going to be a bump and run here at the end. Somebody's going to push someone up out of the way. You know it's going to happen. I just don't know who it's going to be, and that's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see here. Bear with me just for a second here, focus on something on the broadcast side of things, and that's why y'all are looking like, why don't I see the full screen here? There we're back. Sorry about that. Still in the caution though. That's why I figured that's the best time to do it. Bowman Gray, yeah, look at you, Christian out there talking about Bowman Gray. I'm only probably about 25 minutes from Bowman Gray, and to me that track, you know, that track is nothing more than Fight Club on wheels.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think they have film documentaries there actually. Now that I think about it,
yeah, they sure do. Absolutely.
The race in there reminds me a lot of Stafford with the intensity and the passion for all the drivers, and they're all out there to win it. But Stafford has a little bit less fighting. They come down. They don't tolerate any sort of fighting like that. It is frowned upon. You get a fine, you get suspended, and you do not throw fists up in the Northeast. For whatever reason, you just don't do it. But down south a little bit, they'll show their displeasure in different ways.
and I'm all, you know, I'm just like, I get it, short track racing, tempers flare, Saturday night type stuff.
It's short track racing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hey, look, just race. That's the way I look at it. If you want to do a boxing match, get in the ring. Yeah, there you go. We're going back green flag here. Pace cars in. I tell you what, Anthony DeBarro is going to lead them off here again. Boom, we're back racing.
He took the inside there on the start, but thankfully he got a great restart. That 28 has some front end damage, so that's something to keep an eye on. I think it's more important to see how well he performs, which is how much it hurts him, you know?
Yes, it is.
Oh, a caution is out on track again.
Caution out, looks like Thomas Leary. Go back and see what happened to Thomas here. Replay here right fast, let the viewers see. As looks like a car got up into the wall in front of him, and he just tried to go 3 wide and got tagged going around. A couple other cars involved in there too. But wow, just, you know, and that's the thing, we're not really, you know, we haven't mentioned or seen because there isn't really a long green flag yet, but you can get checked up so fast here on this place.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the times the wreck avoidance ends up being you hit the brakes so hard, you spin yourself around because you just got to lock them up, and then you come down, pit, take 4. So if you see a guy around, doesn't necessarily mean they've been involved in the wreck. It's just that you stomp the brakes so hard here, especially, that sometimes you spin around. So that could come into play later.
Yes, it could. Now, Anthony's man out front. He's loving what he's seeing. You got Timothy Johnson right there, Josh Parker and company. Still got Steve Ritter, Nick Silver, E.J. O'Rourke, and all those guys, man, hanging on. Joey Katina up to 7th, Chad Coleman at 8. Mike Maltesi there in 9th, and Bobby Wetzel hanging on the top 10. Well, I mean, it's been a typical Bristol race, and I got to say, too, this K&N car from the start of the season has just been a handful for every one of these drivers out here. You know, I know we've talked to a couple of them, you know, kind of, you know, on and off before the race. And some of them are saying, well, it feels good. But, you know, every time we get into a race, it just seems like the car's being chaotic. And I don't know if it's just the tire model or just a big product of the car itself.
I think it's also the phenomenon of cautions breed cautions. That is such a huge thing in any league, especially these K&N cars, which are hard enough to drive already. You get a caution out, you gotta get 3 or 4 laps in before you can really start pushing the car again, you know?
There you go. Absolutely. So right now, man, looking pretty good with these guys out here. As under caution. Yeah, and you're right there, Christian. Chain reaction. I mean, that's the best way of putting it. nowhere to go. This is a short track, and if a guy's up top up against a wall, and that's where everybody's running, you're going to get into trouble before you know it. It's just like Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, all those tracks that are really short. You know, there's not a ways to go. A term we like using, self-cleaning track. Bristol, I don't know, is kind of a self-cleaning track, but I don't really think it is, because once they get stuck up high, they get stuck up high.
You know, I don't think that's what's on their minds right now. As they're out driving, I think they're just trying to stay ahead of the guy behind them and keep their car straight. More importantly, I think they're sort of just going off at the seat of their pants, feeling on where they want to run. We've seen Anthony running the low line a bit more than anybody else, I've noticed, purely by choice. A lot of guys are running to try and make passes. He's running that low line. He's enjoying it. I don't know if that's a tire-saving method, if he's just seeing if that low line will come in and work for him. But he knows the 28 has a little bit of front-end damage, gives him a little bit more confidence that he can pull away if he needs to. Why not try and run the bottom and see what works as the pace car pulls in?
Pace car pulls in. We're going back green here at Bristol Motorspeedway. Anthony DeBarro out front. And, I'll tell you what, Nick Silver right there, he didn't get a good restart. Checked the field up some, and you're right there, NASCAR. He is saying the K&N car out there with the current tire model is a very handful of half miles and mile and a half, which we've been at a lot. And that's where we've seen a lot of chaos happen with this car. So we'll have to just see here tonight what it's going to produce. It's been kind of chaotic so far.
You see the front of the field sort of stretch it out. The top three are pulling away from everyone else, and then it starts to get into a scrum a little bit further back. But like we said earlier, that 27 is running the bottom by choice, the only guy that seems to enjoy being down there, and he's maintaining that lead, so he's strong on the bottom when nobody else really seems to be.
There you go. Right now, looking pretty good out front as these guys, man, are pulling around this track. Good battle going on back here in about the 12th place spot. You got Daniel Shirley there along with Scott Walters, Patrick Colby in the mix. They're going to almost was duking it out. They almost went door to door there, traded a little paint.
Anthony DeBarro has moved back up to the top line. He saw the 28 and 23 closing in. Said, well, it seems to be working for them. Migrated back up to the top as they are going to get into lap traffic pretty soon. And that's where things get difficult because you're driving around those other guys. Not everyone goes to the top. Not everyone goes to the bottom. You start driving around the lap cars instead of them moving over for you. So that's another thing to keep in mind as we get into lap 33 now of 200.
You know, and you just mentioned right there, once the leader does catch lap traffic, it is pretty much danger at every corner. That's what I always like to say. And he eventually, if we get a long enough green flag run, he will catch those lap cars behind him, though. Josh Parker's trying to give Timothy Johnson all he can to see if he can't look on the inside, but still that high lane looks like it's the place to be right now.
I don't really foresee him making a pass down low on the inside. It seems like if you want to get around somebody, you've got to get a good run on them off the corner. Well, you're not going to get a better run than off the top here, and that 28 is closer to the wall than anybody else.
Well, a little contact between Joey Katina and the 50 machine, and they are still back there beating and banging behind him. Wow, there's Scott Walters back there along with Daniel Shirley. He's all up into the wall. And we got a car upside down.
Goes
Are
up.
you crazy?
Wow. Oh, big wreck. It's a parking lot in turn one as everyone tries to get through now. I see the King in there. He's got a little bit of front end damage. But that 33, he was up sideways on the wall, climbing the fence. Oh my goodness, I think that could be some heavy damage for him.
Go back and watch here, boy. I tell you, that was wild. Steve Goschalk, though. Oh yeah, Steve got up into the side of the 33 machine, like you said. I think that's Kevin Brown. No, Kevin Brown was a different one, but yeah, it looks like Steve Goschalk just car pushed up, went up into the side of the 33, and next thing you know, Scott Walters, was upside down. Wow, for a ride.
That's where you start getting worried about the suspension damage. The toe, I can almost certainly assure you, is knocked out of that car. if he comes back out there, that's going to be the most difficult car to drive, hands down, no doubt about it. The engine might be okay, but the toe and the front suspension of that car almost certainly is not.
Yeah, and there's no fast fixes here in this series, so it's pretty much run what you got. You tear it up, could be over, and your night could be over. Now, again, we go back to what we're saying. It is short track. Yeah, you go to NASCAR. We go back to short track racing here. You can lose some fenders. You can lose a little bit. You can't do too much damage because after a while you will destroy the car. You'll mess up, like you said, the steering, the motor, or anything like that. Those are the components you don't want to mess up. You can get away, though, with some cosmetic kind of damage here.
Right. The cosmetic damage, this isn't a beauty competition on who wins this race. It's the first guy to reach the finish. And I talked about this last week. Not the fastest car. The first car to reach the finish. This, even more than a super speedway, is a war of attrition. Or as someone I once heard say, a war of nutrition, which I still don't quite understand, but it makes me laugh every time. But it's just making it until the end is the biggest thing here. It's the first car to cross the line, not the fastest. You got to stay in one big piece.
Well, I know somebody used to ask me, well, Joe, who do you think's going to win the race? And I'd always say, guy that finishes first. And it's like, they'd be going, great guess. Hey, just keeping it real. Yeah.
Well, you know what? When I was growing up, my dad would always take my brother and I to the NASCAR races, and it drove my brother and I insane. My brother was a huge Greg Biffle fan. I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan, and my dad would always just root for whoever was winning. If it was Jeff Gordon or Greg Biffle, hey, one of us was happy.
There you go.
He would just root for whoever won, and then at the end of the race, he'd go, "Oh, that's my guy. I wanted him to win from the beginning," and I'm sitting there going, you know what? At least he had fun.
You can't lose betting it that way. As we get back here to set to go back racing in Bristol tonight, Nemesis Lab here for the K&N series with the Sim500 guys. Appreciate everybody been tuning in tonight as kicking off this 2020 season here with them, and obviously, and also the Sim500 is about to kick off their 2020 Grand Service Cup series here soon in the next couple of weeks, along with several other series. Check them out on sim500.com. Pace cars in, green flag flies, we're back racing.
Another great jump on the inside and a rough start for the guy starting in fourth place. For some reason, that just seems to be the pattern as the 23 finally gets around the 28 there. He's been stuck behind him for, about 42 laps now. Josh Parker has made his way around Timothy Johnson. He's going to chase around Anthony DeBarro there as he's pulling away just a tiny bit.
Yeah, Anthony DeBarro's got the top spot here. We got cars around. Looks like Steve Goschalk is wrecking. On the replay and see what happened. He was coming out of the pits.
Now flies.
Looks like a car in front of him spun. Not sure who that was, and then Steve had to stop.
Come on.
He was actually coming out of the pits. Oh, Doug Roth and Don Runkle. Doug Roth caught the king here. Let's see what happened between them. Those two. Looks like Don got in the side of someone, just lost it. Doug, no place to go. Tommy Ryan involved again. Guys having an eventful night.
And not in the good way. His brother Jeff is sort of stuck in the middle there. He's a lap down, now in 27th. Looks like he's got some front end damage, that 10 car. So not a good night for the Ryan brothers. But hey, it's not over yet. It is far from over.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one. I tell you what, well, sometimes guys love short track racing. Some guys are like, I just want to survive this place. And tonight, it looks like, what you said earlier, it's going to be kind of survival style race. We're already about it looks like 46 laps into it, 200 laps here tonight. It'll go by pretty quick. These guys are running pretty good, but man out front, Anthony DeBarro, he's loving it.
Oh, absolutely. And he's saying rack up the cautions as the lap car goes around now. He's saying, you know what? I don't mind pacing. It's 3 laps led for me. He's been killing it on these restarts, and that's big. Getting into your opponent's head and, constantly beating them on the restarts. It makes a big difference later if they're already thinking to themselves, okay, he's going to beat me on the start. How am I going to beat him later? Well, he's already won the battle of who's going to get out front first. So if he keeps this up, stays in the lead, keeps nailing the restarts and running all over the track where other guys can't run, that's a huge mental advantage over his opponents.
There you go. And right now, these guys are looking pretty good. And Anthony's controlling the field here tonight at Bristol. Just a wild, chaotic, short track racing here. I mean, this is what we come to expect when it comes to short track. I know the guys here at the Sim500, they're so used to having, very, very clean style races. I know a lot of them probably are frustrated tonight, but again, the car, the package, and the tires, I think is what we're looking at here. I don't think the skill part, it's there. It's just, even in real life, there is just some tracks that just produce a lot, or really just, I don't know, they do your driver wrong.
I know, and this is a tough track no matter what car you're here in, whether it's a NASCAR Cup car, K&N car, a wheel-in modified, does not matter. This track is tough. There's a million ways to run it correctly. This is the best way I can think of putting it. A million ways to run it correctly and 1,000,001 ways to get it wrong. And you've got to ride the edge. You've got to have great car control here. And if we go on a long green flag run, that's what's going to show who's got control of these cars and who doesn't. Pace lights are off, though, as we get ready to go back green. It'll be lap 50, a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony Navarro's going to pull them out front here. The man in second, Josh Parker. He got a good jump that last time, was able to get around Timothy Johnson up front. Lights off on the pace car. Look at Josh. He's going to see if he can't get a shot out there on Anthony, but Anthony will be the one that controls the field here on the starts that come into turn 3. Pace car will drop off on the pit road. Look out for E.J. O'Rourke back there. He's another one that looks pretty good. Pace car is in. Just about to be here. Yep, pace car's in. We're going green back at Bristol.
Another great jump by the 27. It looks like he should be able to clear that 23. He's not going to go up for it. He's going to continue running the bottom. And the 41 is going to have a great run on the 28. It seems like that front end damage is really hurting him on these restarts now.
Absolutely, right there. EJ's going to take the third place spot over Timothy. Chad Coleman is going to get shut off just a little bit up in 5th. I know he had to close his nose up right there. Behind him, Steve Ritter, Nick Silver, and Mike Kelly all in a mix. You got to go back here to Mike Matesi. And then number 7 machine, he's kind of locked down on the low side, not where he wants to be. He's going to see if he can't sneak up high. There's no room right there yet.
A great battle out front. That 23 car is really able to keep pace with the 27 and has him running the top line. We've seen Anthony in the 27 running the bottom for the first 10 laps or so of a run. I think the 23 might have gotten into his head a little bit as he runs the top now the entire way around. Both cars do.
And if he makes a mistake, we've seen it all night long, you get too far up there on the wall, you tap it just a little bit, it's almost like a magnet. It'll hold the car up there if you get and scrape it. And that'll allow Josh Parker. Now, the one thing Josh has to watch out for, if he gets too close there to Anthony and Anthony hits that wall, he could actually run into the back end and tear up his car also. We've seen that a couple times tonight with the guys in the back here.
Yeah, and it's especially bad in these K&N cars where the wall just reaches out and grabs you, it feels like. Doesn't matter what track it is. But here at Bristol, where you're running so close to it, it's not safe to say that Anthony Navarro is going to be a contender to win this race here. As great as he is running, don't get me wrong, it's so easy to tap the wall, get stuck to it, and you go spinning down to the bottom, your night is over, at lap 199 even. It's so easy to happen. This race is never, ever over until the checkered flag flies, at Bristol especially. Lap 58, 200.
There you go, and you got Mike Kelly hanging on to the 8th place spot. Great job. Bobby Wetzel right there in 9th. Matt Lacrosse in the 10th place. Looks like top 10 right now, kind of single file. Let's go back here a little further back. Joey Katina and company's got to go back here. We go into some side-by-side action with Don Runkle in the mix. He's in the 14th place spot there. A lot of those guys are just kind of duking it out.
I'm wondering how much these guys want to push their cars
around
here. And
Yep, that's going to bring caution. I was watching Joey back there live, and he was back there battling, and he just got up into the wall. Next thing you know, accordion effect.
Big checkup at the front. You got to watch out for these guys running into each other. Somebody doesn't get the memo to check up. It's very easy. It's the 4 car, it looked like, was on his roof there on the bottom.
And look at that. How the...
Anthony DeBarro to pit road. Leaders are all pitting now at lap 60.
I know who that was on the lid. Andy Yoakum. Sorry. Back on Randy Yoakum.
DeBarro is the first one off pit road. He will probably cycle around to be the leader. I think everyone pitted, but we will find out here momentarily. I think the 14 is going to get a commitment line violation there based on the looks of that one.
Watch this replay here, Randy Yoakum. Oh, he just clipped the back end of Doug Roth, and that thing just flipped over end over end on the front stretch.
Hey, sometimes that happens. It's a bad night. It's bad luck, but, you know, what can you do?
Well, he's trying to do his best to get the thing to flip back over. He almost had it. And he's going to have to end up just getting it towed. Wow. Yeah, Randy, just not the night he wanted.
No, certainly not. It's frustrating when things just happen like that. You spend so much time every week practicing, building setups perhaps, and just working your butt off to get a good car, to have a good chance at winning, and then to just turtle the thing 60 laps in, it's just crazy.
It is, and the man out front, everybody on pit road, like you said, you got E.J. O'Rourke out front. He hadn't made a pit stop, though, so it looks like the top, the one I'm seeing, it looks like the top 4 or 5 guys have yet to didn't make a pit stop.
Yeah, it's looking to me like the top 6, E.J. O'Rourke, Chad Coleman, Steve Ritter, Nick Silver, Bobby Wetzel, and Shane Ewing all did not pit, which means Anthony DeBarro, our leader pretty much this entire time since the 99 hit the wall and fell back quite a bit, is going to restart 7th with the Timothy Johnson machine in 8th, Matt Lacrosse in the 45-9, and Chad Cole, not to be confused with Chad Coleman, Chad Cole in 10th restarting.
Yeah, and I tell you, you know, here's where Anthony needs to be patient. He knows he's got a fast car. Timothy knows he has a fast machine. And another guy that a very, very bad pit stop, Josh Parker, marred way back in traffic.
Oh, yeah, he's all the way back in 19th, maybe a penalty, as he is back in 20th now, taking this restart. But the top 6 are on old tires. How much of an impact is that going to play? The tire wear here, we're about to find out as we're getting ready to go green.
Yes, we are. Lights off on the pace cars. Green flag racing here tonight at Bristol. E.J. O'Rourke out front. He's probably anticipating. He don't waste no time. He gets a good jump.
Anthony DeBarro was fast on the bottom, but he's fast enough as he battles that car. It's loose. He almost lost it there on the front stretch. As he loses it in the corner, he goes around. I need to stop talking about this stuff. My goodness.
Man, Anthony DeBarro dominated earlier on. You're right. He just swung that thing around. He had it saved for the first time. Doesn't look like he got much damage at all on the machine. Maybe tagged just a little. I think he should be okay. But, man, it just goes to show you right there just how loose these cars are. I mean, that was one of the fastest machines, and just to think about it, Jeff, he went in for new tires, and the guys in front of him didn't. So maybe that's something you've got to let these tires get up to temperatures.
Absolutely, we saw it during qualifying. The guys running the bottom there were spinning out. I think Anthony just sort of was a bit over enthusiastic in running the car. If I'm him, I'm pitting. I'm getting 4 new tires and checking if there's any damage. So that's my game plan. But if I'm one of the top 6 guys, I'm staying out because Timothy Johnson now is the furthest guy up on new tires, restarting in 7th.
Steve Ritter slow on pit road, or slow on the apron for some reason.
Looks like they're all just checking up there. It wasn't
okay.
Just him. Yeah, that was a little strange, though. You're absolutely
Maybe it's waiting on
right.
the pace car to come around. Sometimes they have to wait on it to come around.
Right.
Just had to. I
He's
just
up-
flipped to him, and I thought, well, he's right on the apron there for some reasons.
Yeah, started in 7th all the way up to 3rd. But let's talk about Shane Ewing in the 32. Started in 32nd all the way up to 5th place. Got some damage on that car. I think staying out is what got him up that far. But that is huge, gaining 27 spots. You also got Mike Kelly in the 2 car from 27th to 8th. Daniel Shirley from 26th to 10th. That's a lot of ground gained in 68 laps here as we get close to a very nice milestone in the race here. These guys are moving their way up the track, up 27 spots though. Shane Ewing.
Shane Ewing there. I tell you what, I know Mom's out there watching him as always, so Shane's doing an outstanding job up in the 5th already as he's looking good in that machine, like you said. See if he can hang on to it. That just proves to you right there, the aerodynamics is not the ultimate thing. He can maintain, as long as that motor's not hurt, as long as the tires are nothing, not too bad, he'll be able to hang on to a top spot here. Hopefully stay out of trouble. Come out of this place, man, looking good.
You know, I'm thinking that if he somehow loses the hood to that car, he could stick around for the wheel and modified race. He's got the open front wheels. The back end is almost completely flush. I mean, that car it's not winning a beauty contest, but if he can go out there and wheel the darn thing, then you know what? All the power to him. That is awesome to see.
That's it. He's got Mac tools on it there too, so they'll definitely use a lot of them to kind of get it back fixed. As like you said, he's up to the looks like to be the 5th place spot right now. E.J. O'Rourke's the man out front. Is going to lead him back to the green here with Chad Coleman and Steve Ritter and company up there. His lights off on the pace car. We're going back racing here at Bristol under the lights tonight here for the Nemesis Lab K&N Series presented by the Sim500. And a good one so far. Kind of chaotic here, short track. And you know, they call this the last great Coliseum. I call it a fish bowl and a battle dome for cars.
Oh, absolutely. The last great Coliseum is quite fitting as the 41 gets a great jump, 2-3 car lengths ahead of Coleman in the 20 there as a battle for 3rd place is going on, but E.J. O'Rourke is looking to check out on the field.
Yes, it is. E.J. says, I got to get out of here. I know I got older tires. Looking back here, though, with Timothy Johnson, he's up high, got Shane down low. He would love to get up high somehow, but everybody's hanging on to that top spot for the moment. Everybody instantly goes single file to the top side. I think that's where they want to be here.
Absolutely. The one downside to that, though, that we've mentioned a few times now, you can't really pass somebody on the inside. It's hard to do. You're depending on them to make a mistake while not making one yourself. It's very, very difficult to make a pass on the inside here at Bristol. With these guys up and running the wall, we're going to see a lot of single file action here. And 2nd place has a good 10 car lengths over 3rd.
It does. I like that destruction arena. That's pretty good when they're that car. Well, Josh Parker, he was up front earlier on. He knows he has a fast machine. He's back on the move again. He's up to 10th. Trying to work over Daniel Shirley right there for the 9th place spot. He's looking to the inside. He's going to be able to get it. He dives in there. And right now is the time for him to try to get what he can on new tires.
That's what you got to do, but looks like tires aren't playing as big a role as we originally thought here. I would love to see the tire wear, you know, how much those tires are worn on those guys that changed them out over 77 laps. Now we're coming to lap 77, excuse me. But yeah, you just need to run the top. You don't need the freshest tires. You just need the best line.
And, you know, you talk about it. Let's look at the lap times. E.J. O'Rourke out front. He's running a 15.1. Yep, 15.1. And then let's look back to a guy like Josh Parker, who is back here into the backside. Parker right now ran a 15.1 also. So, I mean, you're right. You go off a newer set of tires as opposed to the older set. I mean, EJ's laying down some pretty good fast lap times. Looks like the tires are not falling off like we thought they would. I mean, there definitely will be some. But, again, we haven't had a long green flag run, so that might help him just a little bit.
I think the track rubbering up is really helping him out. The temperature is probably getting lower as the caution comes out now.
Steve, I ain't going to try the last name, but it's Steve. He hits the wall by himself, single car, bounces off of it, and then just slams the inside wall.
Yeah, that's, you know, there's not much room to save a car here. By the time you go around and you're trying to save the car, get pointed the other way, you're already at the inside wall.
And he's in the Peeps machine, too. He just killed every one of those little small chickens.
Oh, geez, and we're so close to Easter as well, just a couple months out, unfortunately. As EJ O'Rourke comes to pit road, that is, huh, that is something. I was going to say earlier, he ran his fastest lap of the race on lap
Fuel?
72.
Fuel could be
15.072.
I'm not sure about fuel. I don't know what I should know this. I should know what the fuel is on here, but it could be a fuel issue.
Maybe, but man, I don't know. That's interesting. Well, I guess we'll see how driving through the field goes for him. His best advantage is his car is relatively clean right now. I don't see much, if any, damage on that car. Of course, now that I've said something, you know he's going to be in the next caution, and if you're watching this, EJ, later on, I'm sorry if it does end up happening that way. You do get wrapped up in a caution here, but he's going to have to drive his way through the field now as he pits from the lead and is not followed by the other leaders, excuse me.
There you go. Well, right now it's been an outstanding race so far amongst all these guys. Chad Coleman up front is now taking over the top stop with the peeps. Put NASCAR here. With the peeps, the hit should have been cushioned. Yeah, well, maybe that's what, saved the car a little bit. It didn't look as damaged. That's you're right. He had a softer hit with the little peeps car out there.
Well, I think those little ducks took the bulk of the impact, so I don't think they got another one in them, unfortunately, but we'll see.
They'll be ready by Easter. They'll be back out there by then.
Yeah, maybe so. We got a couple months, 3 more months. Track will be a little bit warmer then. Maybe just a light jacket instead of the full winter jacket and everything else that you got to be wearing now. Even in Tennessee, it's a little cold. I'm about 6 hours north of the track, and it is freezing cold here, so I'm waiting on that warmer
You know
weather.
what's crazy, though? Like I say, I'm in NC here, but it's been 61 and 59 degrees in January. You talk about being cold, and it's like, are we ever going to have winter? I don't know. It's crazy weather, but either way, it's been hot and heavy on the track tonight so far here at Bristol. As Chad Coleman's going to take the top spot out here and see what he can do with Mike Kelly and company. At this rate right now, you mentioned it earlier there, Jeff. It's a battle of attrition. I mean, if you got a fast car, what goes through your mind here with this kind of race?
Oh, what's going through my mind? Boy, I shouldn't have pitted there if I'm EJ O'Rourke, I think, but maybe the fuel was an issue as he's restarting. Oh, did he get a penalty of some sort as he's falling back, letting cars by? I'm not quite sure.
What?
EJ O'Rourke. He was letting a lot of cars by, so we're getting ready to go green here at the front. If I'm one of the front guys, looks like Chad Coleman is taking the outside. If I'm him, I'm thinking I got to just hold this spot. Don't let the 2 get by. Hold this spot on the outside, and don't let that 28 get in front either. There's a great jump on the side that the inside line doesn't go. The 23 is back up near the front now. Josh Parker, he's got a good chance of taking this lead. He sat in second and third for a long time.
Well, I tell you what, Josh Parker's worked his way back up to the second place spot. He knows he wants it. Chad Cole wants to hang on to it. But here goes Josh. He did not try to push the issue too much there. As everybody went single file again up top. Chad Coleman's hanging it down, but here comes Parker. He's going to look to see if he can't take the lead.
Ooh, he looks quick. He's looking like he's getting the better runs off the corner. He's got the fresher tires, I believe. So can he get the run on the outside? Is the 20 going to leave it open? I really don't know. His last lap was a 15.217 was Chad Coleman versus Josh Parker's 15.152, a 144 there to a 160 by Coleman. So Parker is a little bit faster right now, but not by much, and he doesn't have quite enough speed to get around yet.
Just going on inside here with Josh Parker to watch him, you can see actually this car's awful bumpy on this track. It is bouncing considerably in the turns there. That might be upsetting these cars just a little bit. You can see Josh right there as he goes into the turn. The car is way, way bouncy. He looks to be a little bit faster than Chad out front. The problem is, if that car's bouncing like that, he tries to make it on the inside, it could upset it, and that might be where we're seeing a lot of guys lose it.
You're exactly right. He's not turning the wheel too far to the right, but what I'm noticing is he's sliding a bit on turn exit. It's not too bad now, But a little later on, that'll make a huge difference if you start sliding the tires now. If we go on a long green flag run, his rear tires especially, are going to be dead at the end of it.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, there's no doubt about it, Parker's probably a little bit faster than Coleman. It's just a matter of he just can't find a way to get around him. I mean, Chad Coleman has the line that Parker needs, and Chad's not doing anything wrong. It's just where, Josh has to find his own way around him. And that's just the hard part about this place here is Mike Kelly now has come up into the mix.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is everybody wants to run the same line. Nobody wants to be passed on the outside, but Mike Kelly, he's going to push the issue. He's saying, if you're not going to make a move, Josh, you better move over and let me because I want to run at this lead here.
He does. He comes up on the back end of Josh, and we got the 3-car battle for the top spot. Patrick Colby up to 4th right now with Timothy Johnson there in 5th. Jeff Ryan up in the 6th place. He's got his hands full, though, with Chad Cole.
I think Josh got the message there as he's picked up the pace a little bit. It's about 2 car lengths between 1st and 2nd and 2nd to 3rd now. But Mike Kelly looks to be better entry to apex of the turn, and Josh Parker has a better run off. As that 20-car Chad Coleman, he's just out there watching out his windshield. Don't even look in the rear view. Don't psych yourself out here.
We got to go. Excuse me, wow, picked up right in the middle of what? These guys got so much excitement, got me excited. Well, I tell you what, though, good battle coming off here in the back right here with Daniel Shirley, the 8th, 9th, and 10th place spot.
Keep an eye there. A lot of good battles going on all around this track, but we're struggling on the inside, it looks like, as we are almost halfway, lap 98 of 200 here.
Matt Lacrosse right there in the 9th place. You got Tommy Ryan looking in the mix. That's a good battle right there. Like I said, back about the 8th, 9th, and 10th. All those guys are in a good tussle.
Matt Lacrosse has a lot of damage to his back end. Same thing with Daniel Shirley as he's trying to give a push here. Is that 45 going to dive to the bottom? Doesn't look like it, as they are going to remain there. The 99 still on his inside. Boy, what a comeback for Tommy Ryan. He was all the way back in the 30-something position, all the way back up to 10th. Now he's far his way back. That car is looking pretty damaged. Looks like it's going to be a handful for him to drive, but he has gotten all the way up to 10th and 11th, and he's fighting for more.
Steve Ritter up on the wall a little bit. He held on to that machine. That could have been disastrous right there.
The 3 wide behind him, though, that was close.
Wow. Yeah, they had to check up when Steve got up into the wall. They all had to check up right there. So you're right. It was a close call. And, I mean, these guys are just putting on a good show back here in the back.
I want to watch this battle. Tommy Ryan versus Jeff Ryan. 2 brothers are fighting it out. They are they're battling for, looks like, 9th position. Tommy on the inside, Jeff on the outside. Both got some damage on the cars, but they are dueling. There's nothing more fun than that.
No doubt. The 45 machine in front of them, though, got wiggly. They were able to get by him.
Wide.
Oh, they're gonna make that thing stick. Oh, they thought better of it.
Stay 3 wide. Tommy Ryan somehow holds on to it there in the middle and comes out the victor. Wow.
You got to hold your breath on something like that.
That is amazing. Great driving by Tommy Ryan. The 16 and what was that? The 27 as well. That was impressive. Or it was the 45, excuse me, of Matt Lacrosse.
Yeah, you just got to hold your breath right there. Anthony DeBarro is in the mix of that, too. Know where he can go. Matt Lacrosse right there with Nick Silver.
The 3 wide again.
Man, I tell you, and they made contact.
A little bit of contact. Jeff Ryan works his way down to the bottom. And they're going 3 wide one more time. Look at these guys go. They want it all.
Yeah, is he going to work? Oh, Steve Ritter's in the wall. Oh, Steve Ritter in the wall. No caution, but
the car's straight. He managed to keep it relatively straight. Got some front left damage, it looks like, as he comes to a stop on track and gets hit there.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Now, I don't know the rule, and I'll go ahead and say it right there, but he forced a caution there.
He did.
I don't want to get in trouble with the league owner out there or anything right there, but we were watching him because he was definitely going straight and could have kept going. Caution wouldn't have flown, but under caution here again. Wow, tonight.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say maybe, he was having some steering issues, knocked the toe out of it, and he couldn't get the car turned to the left, and so he hit the brakes.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on it. Yeah, probably had some technical difficulties. Might have had to stop it right there. I mean, it did hit a little contact on the inside wall, but unfortunate for Knight right there. Bringing out the caution, Steve Ritter. Again, I know you don't want to get in trouble with the league there, but yeah, just, oh man. They were battling hard back there though, Jeff. I mean, you could actually kind of feel that something was going to have to give the way those guys were racing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, gosh, it seems like these last 2 weeks, I've called it twice in a row now. If you remember last week, as the 20 car overshoots his pit box a bit, but I called it last week. I said, I've got a bad feeling a big wreck is about to come, and then the big one wiped out a large number of cars. I felt bad about that one, and it just happened again where I go, they're 3 wide, they're asking for trouble, and then the 16 was down to the inside wall. The 20 car pits from the lead. Josh Parker now rotates out to the lead. He started third, now up to first as he's drifting up the track a little bit. Looks like he got ahead of the pace car. No harm, no foul, but he is now back to the lead. Looks like he might be hitting pit road. Changes his mind, he's going to stay out.
Yeah, I mean, EJ didn't drop off the pace. We saw that earlier in the race. Don't think Josh needs to go in quite yet. The way the race pace has been going, we're over halfway in this one. So Josh Parker is leading it. Bobby Wetzel's going to be in second. EJ's there in third. Anthony DeBarro back up to fourth. Kevin Brown in the fifth. And NASCAR, I'm not sure. I'm not, obviously I don't control any of the penalties, don't control any of that. I'll leave that up to race control and whatnot. Just unfortunate there. Those guys back there were battling so hard. You just, like what me and Jeff were saying up here, you just had to feel something was going to give. This track is just not really built for 3 wide. You could do it, but it's not something that you want to do. It usually don't turn out very well.
Yeah, no, that's something you do once, not twice, certainly not 3 times, and the 4th time around you're asking for trouble like we just saw there. But that was pretty impressive.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was fun to watch. Now, it definitely gives up exciting stuff here tonight to check into and watch on the track as we're getting set to go back green flag. I mean, this has been a thrilling race, and just like what we thought, a lot of guys want that top lane. Been very hard to pass here, and these cars just have been a handful lap after lap so far here at the K&N Series.
These cars are very difficult to drive. If you remember the old Cars of Tomorrow, that's what these cars are. They're not modeled after the actual K&N cars that they run in real life. These are actually the Cars of Tomorrow that they're driving. So they've got the full cup power and everything. As the 23 gets a great jump, and the 27 is now back to the front. EJ O'Rourke is up there as well. Oh man, a lot of familiar faces as Bobby Wetzel now holds third, but Josh Parker is holding off former leader Anthony DeBarro as he's now back out close to the front.
Yeah, the top 2 guys earlier on in the race, they're back up to the top spots there. We'll see if they can do it. Go behind them a little bit. You got EJ, Kevin Brown, Dane Ewing back up to 6th. Gael, look at that, up to 7th. Good run for him. Daniel Curley there in the 8th. Chad Cole up in the 9th. Don Runkle having a good outstanding run earlier on. Had a few problems. Old Doug Roth, you got to go side by side, racing back to back the 12th, 13th place spot.
Well, gosh, Doug Roth, the king, just a couple, maybe 20, 30 laps ago, he was getting the lucky dog, so he's working his way up through the field. I'd say the biggest mover now is still Shane Ewing. Started 32nd all the way up to 6th. Gale Brooks, 29th, he started all the way up to 7th. And Daniel Shirley started in 26th place all the way up to 8th. A lot of guys moving very far up through the field. That means a lot of guys that started at the front are now towards the back as well. You have to consider that.
A lot of good movers and shakers here tonight at Bristol. Oh, they kind of get checked up there. Don does around the 9th, 10th, and 11th place spot. They are all nose to tail, and the 50 got all kind of wiggly.
Held on to it, though, as we have no caution. Lap 118 of 200. Josh Parker is now out in front. Anthony DeBarro was in this position before with the 23 in second. And now, these guys, it looks exactly the same, just the 23 in front instead of the 27. Can't get up to him, cannot make a run around him, though. This is going to be interesting to watch here to the end. As a caution now back out on track.
Oh, yeah, we got a couple cars around. Jonathan Lockhart is one of them. See what happened up here. Jonathan just lost it. It looks like he almost had it saved and then just went up and actually tagged the 5. Looks like the 29 went around and several of the cars just came around with him.
just one of the. It's short track racing. What did I say? It's just short track.
It is. It's just short track racing.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely, definitely short track racing. Wow.
Can you believe we've got another 80 laps of this?
It's actually went by pretty quick though, tonight.
Oh, I know. It's gone by
for a lot
quickly,
of the for a lot of the chaos we've had, it has actually went by pretty well. To me, it's been an eventful style race here.
Absolutely. I'm having a blast calling it. This is some really great driving. The wrecks they're all happening from hard racing, not bad decisions, if that makes sense. I think there's a difference between a wreck from a bad decision and a wreck from just good hard racing, short track racing. And we're just seeing these guys, everyone out there. I don't think there's a single car out there on the lead lap, even maybe 2 or 3 laps down even, going, oh, I'm out of this one, my race is over. Every single guy out there from first, probably I would say, to 25th is saying, I've got a chance to win this race, and they're going to do everything they can. Nobody has thrown in the towel yet.
Absolutely, and Josh Parker's loving every minute of it right now, out front along with Anthony Navarro. I have a feeling you're just not a Joey Logano fan, right?
He might be. I don't know. I'm
talking about you.
Oh, me. Oh,
yeah.
Man. I work media. I run the Bottled Up podcast, and so with that, I actually go down into the media center at tracks that I go to. I can't really play favorites. I shouldn't. But, Joey Logano, I like him. I definitely do. He's from Connecticut. I'm from Massachusetts. William Byron, he got his start on iRacing. I got to be a fan of him. Yeah. I've met him before. I did an interview with him. Hands down, one of the nicest, most down-to-earth, really down-to-earth guys I've ever had the pleasure of talking to. I mean, I introduced myself. We did a 10-minute, 20-minute interview. Actually, it was about a 12-minute interview it was. Oh, and at the end of it, shook my hand, remembered my name, and even struck up a conversation afterwards when he certainly didn't have to. It was very interesting.
Well, I'm going to say when I'm not out here calling these races and stuff and outside of it, most of the guys I grew up watching, I was a big Bill Elliott fan back in the day, and, I do love the Penske guys. I mean, so that's probably my drivers that I pull for now. And so forth. I'm a Ford man through and through. I will stay biased when it comes to that part of it. I will stay biased when it comes to that. I am a Ford man. But now when I'm up here in the booth, like I say, and I'm doing these races, I'm like you. Hey, as long as these guys, you gotta maintain, your unbiasedness here. That's why when everybody asks me, who do you think's gonna win? Well, the guy that finishes first. That's usually I want to get the broadcast booth on them. And I've done it before. Picked a driver. Next thing I know, he goes on the wall, and I'm going, sorry.
Whoops. As the 23, they go back green. 23 gets a great jump there. He's chosen the outside. I think Anthony Navarro was the last leader that's going to take the inside there. Everyone else has been sticking to the outside. EJ O'Rourke goes for a hole that's not there. Has to check up hard. Oh, man, this is getting good.
Mike Kelly went around, and I think he actually did an awesome move sliding into the pit. Let's go back. No caution right now that I see, but let's go back on the replay and watch this start. And watch Mike Kelly go around here, folks. I just caught it out the side here. But I think when he slid, watching the replay here for a moment. Oh, they checked up on the restart.
Caution.
Like Doug Roth is around. I'm going to show you. Yeah, Mike Kelly just spun. And when he spun, he went all the way down into pit lane. That's why I didn't throw a caution. But let's go back here on the Doug Roth incident. See what happened to him. Again, just lost it out of the turn. Don Runkle got in the back end of him. Guess what? Went around the inside wall. Caution's out.
Yeah, he was already a bit loose. The 00 just had nowhere to go. Couldn't check up in time. Not his fault. Certainly not anyone's fault there. Good hard racing.
Treacherous track here tonight. I mean, this place looks like coming out of the turn. We saw earlier on when we was riding with Josh Parker just how bumpy it is. And those bumps will upset these cars massively coming out of the turns and in the turn.
And it's hard. These cars, more so than most other cars. Any car, when you hit a bump, gets a little trickier to drive. But these cars especially, when they hit a bump, you feel it and you notice it. And it's very easy to lose the car. So I'm surprised we haven't had more cautions caused by just people spinning out and, you know, losing control of the car. It seems like everyone's got a bit of a grip on it, but at the same time, these things happen. And we saw it with the 27. He was out in the lead, ended up getting wrecked. He's fought his way back up to the front now, but there's not really time to do that again should he have to, should anyone have to. So this is where things start to get a little bit more permanent, I think.
If we get on a good long green flag run, you know, definitely it'll be interesting to see what the tires. I don't think we've really seen what the tire wear or anything, you know, can do tonight. But Josh Parker's still out front along with Anthony Navarro. Those two guys have dominated a lot tonight so far, with E.J. O'Rourke there in third, Bobby Wetzel up the fourth, Kevin Brown the fifth. Been a good one, though, and, wow, you know, got about, what, 70 more to go here. And it's just been, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next 70 laps.
Who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 laps even. This is where it gets crazy. This is where the boys earn their pay. This is where they're going to be driving their hearts out. There's no time for regrets. No time to second guess yourself. If you see a chance and the door's open, you've got to go for it.
It's Bristol, baby. That's what they talk about tonight. Short track here, under the lights. A lot of great memories at this track. Josh Parker would love to put one here for the Sim500 Nemesis Lab K&N series here. And that's race number 5, I believe, of the series. These guys, man, are definitely put on a show week in and week out. Appreciate everybody tuning in. As we're kicking off here the new decade, the new year here, 2020. A lot of the Sim500 series are about to kick off in the next couple weeks. They've got the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky on Wednesday night. Truck Series will kick off in the next month or so. Trans-Service Cup Series will kick off on Mondays. And then they got the Fed Series going to pick up Xfinity Series on Sunday nights. They got a couple other series. Just check them out on the sim500.com. A lot of great sponsors out there, too, coming on board. Great rewards and money. Got Rookies of the Year. We've got, you know, a lot of great new things, involvement here. So check them out. Sim500 here tonight as we're getting set to go back green.
I imagine we're going to see Josh Parker here in the 23 take the outside. Anthony Navarro will be down on the bottom. I imagine that's how it was last time. The leader does have lane choice. You got to take the outside, though. I mean, that's the fastest way around the track right now. Nobody's going to pass you if you're running up against the wall, assuming you don't hit it, of course. But we got just under 70 laps to go, 69 laps to go here till the end of this race, and there is a lot that can happen in those laps.
Yes, it can. Pace cars in, green flag flies. Josh Parker does not get the jump he wanted, and he's got Anthony was all over the back end. Yeah, it is, up in the wall, slams it hard, but he's able to, oh, well, never mind. It's a big one.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that's actually going to be Steve Ritter and company back there. I think they just had to check up. Looks like Don Runkle caught the apron. Steve Ritter nowhere to go, and it is chaos. Almost like Talladega style back there. Just cars everywhere.
Yeah, Bobby Wetzel actually had a pretty incredible save, but yeah, it was just
some of these guys tonight here, Jeff, man, they're going to hope to get out of this place alive.
Oh, absolutely. It's just a chain reaction. Oh, there were 2 spins, actually. The 00 went around. The 16 got airborne.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was just chaos, man. You know, mayhem back there in the back. I mean, and again, we talked about it earlier. Once one car in front of you starts going around, you know, it's not a very self-cleaning style track because these cars tend to go back up the track a little bit. And when we talk about that, you know, Dover comes into mind. That's more of a self-cleaning track. Usually you can stay high on that one and the cars will go all the way back down to the bottom. Here, they kind of shoot back up the track for some reason. It's kind of great. It's almost, and Daytona's another one there. You would think with a high banking like there is at Daytona, never understood the physics on that one myself, but I think somebody tried to explain it to me one time was if a car, you know, is high and that thing, and it spins down low, it ends up shooting back up the track on its own. Crazy the way it happens.
Oh yeah, it's those cars have a mind of their own sometimes. It seems like it just defies all logic, you think, but cautions breed cautions. That's what we've seen here a lot. I don't think we've seen the end of the pacing here. I think we're going to see maybe 1 or 2 more cautions, hopefully a nice long green flag run, and we can end this race under green.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look to I don't think that they can make it all the way either. We're probably going to look at another pit stop to make it there. You got to look at the green-white checker. Could fly here tonight also. As Josh Parker and Anthony Navarro, yeah, I don't want to say they're in the safest spot out front. If they got a little bit of a green flag run, they would catch lap traffic after a while, and then it's definitely not safe. But for the moment, them being out front might be the safest place.
You know, it reminds me of what we talked about last week with the super speedways. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be out front where the wreck happens behind you? You either are the wreck or the wreck is behind you. Do you want to be in the middle where hopefully you have time to avoid it? You probably don't want to be at the back here, but I don't know. If I'm Josh Parker, I'm thinking I'm in good shape. If I'm in the top 5, I'm feeling comfortable. You know, if I'm top 5, I'm saying I got a good chance at staying out of trouble here. I just got to make sure I keep this car straight. So, everyone, I would say back to Chad Cole, you've got a good feeling going forward. Maybe top 10, you're feeling all right. But if I'm one of the middle of the pack guys or further back, that's where I start to get nervous about getting caught up in a caution.
So far, so good as the guys up front. I've got this thing locked up along with Josh Parker and company. Set to go back green flag here. Anthony Navarro is going to see if he can't get another good stump. What's up, John? How you doing out there? Appreciate everybody tuning in as pace cars coming around. Put us back under green flag here at Bristol under the lights. It'll be lap 139 of 200. Here, Josh Parker's been able to get good jumps out here every time, and he does this time. Green flag.
Great jump as EJ O'Rourke doesn't get one as good. He's going to slide up to the outside and hold on to 4th place there. Josh Parker is pulling away. He rides the outside here. I think he just could be unstoppable. Anthony Navarro trying to get the bottom working. Slides all the way up to the top. Loses a lot of speed there.
Full car around in the back. Chad Cole. He had to check up. That's what happened to him. And then he just lost it. And it was chaos from there.
Yeah, looks like Jeff Ryman is blown his engine there. So that's unfortunate to see. You hate to see guys just, you know, get taken out of the race completely. It's always unfortunate.
Wow, so just chaotic. I think after tonight, these guys are going to be like, can we bulldoze Bristol? Because this place here is just giving us a giving a headache. Exciting for us to watch, but I know the driver's frustrating.
Oh, for sure. But I think at the end of the race, the guys are going to be a little happier, a little more excited.
Yeah, it's over.
When you're in their heat of the moment, you're frustrated. Maybe even Josh Parker is a bit frustrated and mad. He's going, "Come on, let's run this race, or let's just end it." You know, I want to get to victory lane as quick as I can. But
I think need to rename this place here, Jeff. The Last Great Battle Dome.
Ooh, that's a good name. Not a bad one at all.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because sometimes it can be. I mean, it's a battle of attrition, a battle of just, pure metal and steel out here, and it's mayhem and carnage sometimes.
It's war. It's 100% war. It's every man for himself out there. Teammates are nice, but what can you do for a teammate here? Maybe cut him a break and let him in, but it's at lap 143. It's a little late to be giving up track position, even if it is a teammate.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're going to sit here to go back green. Josh Parker's the man out front. Anthony Navarro there in second. I tell you what, John, appreciate it as always, and always everybody tuning in. As want to also give a shout out, man, to all the folks who have followed the channel in the past. We cracked the 2K mark here, so that is awesome.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I saw that. That is quite the milestone. Great job.
No doubt about it. I tell you what, looking good so far. I want to bring this great action here, the Sim500 tonight. Getting set to go back green, and look at this. Josh Parker's going to take the inside lane this time.
That's a bold move. That's a bold move.
Unless he switches at the last moment here. The lights are still on the pace car, but he's taking the outside lane all the other times.
Yeah, and that's been the dominant lane here. Looks like they're going to go around one more time. And
I think he might eventually switch it up. Maybe fool him a little bit. Maybe give some hope there to Anthony. I don't see a reason why he would. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go back high. I don't see why he would. Oh, happy birthday out there, John, man, as always. I don't see why he would have taken the inside lane when the outside has worked so well. He don't want to give that kind of advantage, I think, to Anthony.
That's true. The one thing that I could think of is you get a great, you have to get a good jump for this strategy to work, but you ride the bottom. It's the shortest way around the track. You can do it in turns 1 and 2 on older tires where they're warmed up, and as you're still getting up to speed, maybe you take that shorter way around, you have a bit more of a lead, and then you go high the rest of the way, but play it safe. Now's not the time to gamble when there's under 60 laps to go. You just want to play it safe and do what you know works.
No doubt. Here we go. Lights off on the pace car. Getting set to go back green at Bristol under the lights. Been chaotic so far here. As we're getting down to the final moments of this one as Josh Parker's out front with Anthony there, trying to see what he can do. As I say, in about another 20 laps is when you start wanting to think about what do you got to do to get around the guys. Josh holds him up a little bit, gets a good jump. Anthony's going to fall back in line with him.
EJ O'Rourke on the outside there. Can he make it work around the 93? Looks like he will. He's cleared for third place, and he gets another great run on Anthony DeBarro there. We saw that a little while ago, and he's not going to be able to get around. Front 3 are pulling away with a good lead by Josh Parker. Everybody
single file up top so far. You got to go back here at about, oh, well, looks like the 83 machine got it, and they're 3 wide. Got up in the wall there a little bit.
We saw how 3 wide went earlier as the 27 is closing in the tiniest bit. He's got the 41 breathing down his neck. He's got to watch the rear view before he pays too much attention to the windshield there. Make sure he doesn't lose that position.
Up to 9th place, Tommy Ryan's been able to battle back here. Shane Ewan's in the mix. They're about side by side for about 8th, 9th, and 10th place spot.
Man, I'm amazed Shane's car. The engine hasn't blown up. That thing is, like we said earlier, it's not the prettiest right now, but you know what? It's running up there in 7th place solidly. It's running well. Congratulations to him on a great run from the back to the front now.
I tell you what, you're right. I mean, he has been able to survive the carnage out here tonight, and Shane has been able to hold on to 7th place. He does have Tommy Ryan right there behind him, along with Patrick Colby up to 9th. Nick Silver there in 10th. As still up front, Josh Parker's moving away, because everybody's kind of single file up there. As these guys here in the back, like I said, they're on top of each other. One wrong mistake, and somebody's going to make the pass.
Josh Parker is putting down his fastest laps of the race right now. A 15.058 on that last time around, his fastest lap of the race.
And Anthony DeBarro right there with him, 15.138. I mean, those 2 guys are just putting them up and laying them down on the field. As still watching this awesome battle back here with Tommy Ryan and company. Because those top 2 guys are kind of spreading it out a little bit. Well, these guys back here, I don't know. Who's going to be? Who's going to be able to take this spot right here? Shane, Tommy, or Patrick?
Caution is out on track.
Oh, it's a huge one too. Nick Cohan. See what happened on Nick back here. Like he was stuck his nose in there for 3 wide, and Doug Roth and company got together. And the next thing you know, just nowhere to go, and the Peeps machine back in it again there. See, those little chickens are hurting after this race.
They're not doing so hot, huh? Oh,
no.
man.
Got some flat Peeps for I guess still the same. They're kind of marshmallow, so there you go.
Yeah, what are those? They're marshmallow, and they've got
marshmallow, sugar. Now, my wife would probably know a lot better because she loves those things, but I think it's like marshmallow with sugary or some. I know it's a marshmallow. It's a marshmallow chicken. It's like a chick, you know?
Yeah, a little chick, but
yeah.
I'm wondering what that stuff. I haven't had one in, oh gosh, at least 10 years. But I'm trying to remember what that outside stuff tasted like. That was just straight
like a
sugar on
sugary
the
style.
outside?
Yeah, it's like a sugar. What's up, Sim500? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on? Portuguese. I think that's Joey out there talking about the poor chickens. Yeah, they're getting beat up tonight on a little bit here in Bristol. So not having a good night tonight there. So a lot of drivers are going to come out of this one not feeling too well when they get done. But either way, Josh Parker right now, if he can hang on in that top spot, he's going to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. This is it's I think one thing to definitely keep in consideration as well is all these laps under caution. You are sitting and analyzing how you've been driving and what you've done wrong, what you need to do better. And I talk a lot on here and in all my broadcasts about how important your mentality is when you're racing. Your worst enemy oftentimes is yourself. You make a
Yep.
mistake and let the guy get around you. I know I am extremely guilty of it. I've thrown away so many races by getting in my own head. And this is, if I'm out there driving, and this is why I'm up in the booth, this is my nightmare where you just sit and analyze and go, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? Then you try and do it, and if it doesn't go as you're planning, it just throws you off even more.
And you mentioned it right there. You're 100% right. As we've seen most of the cautions tonight have been, it started off as a single car. It's just all the other guys know where to go, and it usually ends up in a bad area. But a lot of the wrecks we've seen is guys losing it coming out, and it could be like a mental mistake, like you said there, just overdriving or something coming in and out of the turns. This is a tough place, but we were talking out there, and one of the viewers out there said it's a marshmallows coated with just sugar. Go.
Huh. Well, the
Learn
more
something
you
new
know.
every day.
Yeah, and shaped into the shape of a chicken, I suppose.
Right.
I haven't had those in forever. I'm looking over at my fridge right now, and there is candy still up there from Halloween, so I shouldn't go out and buy any more, but I'm tempted now. Maybe I will this weekend. Who knows? We'll be
A
talking
good one
like
right there,
this.
David. Throwing out some good statistics of the track here. Website of Bristol says 24, 28 degrees of bank, and the old Bristol was 33. So we're getting back green
right.
flag. Wow. Nick Silver's around.
Looked like the 32 was involved as well.
See what happened there on the restart here. It's a replay as Nick just went up into the wall and helicoptered that thing. Actually looked like Nick Silver was the one who got up there just in him. And just chaos from the get-go. Might a little bit spinning of the tires might have happened right there is what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it. And he got up and he bounced it off the wall, hit the 32. That engine doesn't sound great on the 32. I'm a bit worried if I'm him, but everything could be all right. I'm not quite sure yet. The only way to tell if the engine is damaged is to put the clutch in, see what it's idling at, and see how it compares to its undamaged idle.
There
So
you go.
right, if it's idling at 2,000 and you put the clutch in, it's sitting at about 1,900, 1,800, you know your engine's damaged and you're going to be down on power. But Shane Ewing is now back to 12th. That car was spinning around in the air like a top, so maybe it's
I looked like a
okay.
little tire spin because that car looked like it just kind of looked like the rear end came out and it just shot straight right, like on the restart there, and then for Nick Silver and obviously the other machine, Steve Ritter, and then it looks like Nick Silver was just right there to collect the back end. So maybe a little tire spin on the start that we've seen here is, wow, an awesome race so far. And yeah, Tom, that's why we say onlinesimracing.com, your home for fun and exciting sim racing, because you never know what we're going to say up here. We just have fun calling all this action, and hey, what's wrong with not Fox NBC. Now, come on. We want y'all to feel at home and have it exciting here.
Oh, yeah, we got to kill some time under caution. At least we're not like those broadcasters where every time there's a caution, they do a shot or, drink a beer. Because I think we'd be falling out of our chairs and our commentary would be our
I don't know what it would come out of my mouth, did. That would be bad, yeah. That would be bad. You're right, John. I always called you the accountant because you bring out all the numbers for us out there. John, long time a follower here. And just to give you, I know, Jeff, you might be a little new, but John out there, John Marine out there, man doesn't even have iRacing. Knows a lot about it, knows a lot of statistics about tracks, cars, and a lot about NASCAR and racing in general. And as I've been here, he comes and watches most of the races that we've got week in and week out, and it's awesome to see.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was the same way before I got into iRacing. It was summer of 2018 where I finally caved and I said, you know what, I'm going to buy wheel and pedals. I've been watching these videos. I've been doing my research on what I want to, what I want to buy and what racing simulator I want to use. I decided on iRacing, and it's just been a blast ever since.
Well, I tell you what, I've got a wheel and pedal here, and I haven't touched it in probably about a year or so. So I love the broadcast side of it here, and that's just kind of, piqued my interest, and that's why I do it on the iRacing type deal. Everybody loves, some love racing, some loves the other end, some loves both, like you said. And I love watching this action and these guys out here put it all on the line, the emotions and everything out here. Right now, Josh Parker's the man, and he's hoping to hang on here for about another 35 laps here and maybe get out of this place with a win.
It looks like the caution's been extended, so they are not going green yet. They've delayed it. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're probably trying to figure something out here.
Well, with as many cars coming in out of pit road, they're probably getting some flags or some black flags cleared, so forth and so on and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, while we're waiting here real quick, I mean, hey, look, like I just said, the Sim500 is about to kick off their entire season here. Check them out at sim500.com. You see all their sponsors as we're live under the lights here at Bristol at the Nemesis Lab, K&N Series. But here on the channel here at OSR Network, we've got a lot of action, a lot of races about to kick off. A major series, the Sim500 series, Bed series about to kick off, bootleg, and then SRCA. So a lot of great action. Love racing. Tune in and stay tuned. Green flag out. Josh Parker again gets another good jump.
Gets a great jump as EJ O'Rourke stuck on the inside. He might be able to hold on to third. Yes, he will as he slides it up in front of the 17. Holds on to it somehow. These cars are starting to get loose.
And this business is about to start to pick up. It's run what you brung. Almost time here as EJ right there had to cut the nose off of Chad Cole. Chad Cole almost sent him into the top grandstand.
I wouldn't blame him if he did, but at the same time, great heads-up driving by both guys there. That's hard to predict when that guy to your inside. Sometimes you can't even see that guy when he gets loose, and all of a sudden there's a car in front of you. So great heads-up move there.
Yes, it is. Everybody's kind of single file here. You would think after a while that maybe they'd try to calm down, but just like that, car up into the wall, and he's going to lose a lot of momentum. We talked about it. That wall will jump out there, and it's almost like a magnet. It'll stick that car up to it.
Oh, yeah, it's like a vacuum cleaner. You're just stuck there. It's so hard to get it off. No matter what you do, you can throw the wheel to the left, and it just will not come off.
And you see right there, too, Bobby Wetzel came out of the turn. That car just almost stepped sideways. You got to go back here to 14th place spot. Don Runkle, he's had it up and down night, but he's hanging on to 14th. Mike Matesi there in 13th. Nick Silver and company. Nick Cohan. All those guys, I mean, we've always said in the past, and it usually plays for the real side of things, usually you don't come out of here with a pristine car.
Oh, certainly not. I think the closest to it might be that 23 up there at the front. EJ O'Rourke's looking pretty good, a little bit of front right damage. I'm actually riding along in his in-car, and he's seeing these guys battling up at the front, but he's fighting his own car there, it looks like. A lot of these guys are struggling on exit, as I'm hearing a lot of them lifting, actually, as they're coming off the turn just to keep control of this car.
Yeah, and just watching a few of the guys in the back here, too, just to show them. You're right. It is a handful. It is so bumpy up front, and it's just so bumpy from behind the wheel. It doesn't look like they're having to saw the wheel an awful lot. It's more of you can see the wheel jerking as it hits the bumps across right there where Anthony DeBarro were riding with him. As soon as he goes into the turn, throughout the middle of it, you can just see that wheel shaking. It doesn't look like he's sawing it. He's trying to keep it as smooth as he can, because under bumps like that, if he was to yank it one time, it could send it out from under him.
Easily, and a mistake like the one he made earlier, I guarantee you that's still on his mind there, where he spun it out earlier. Nothing he even really did wrong. It's so hard to maintain control of these things. But that's in his head. He knows he cannot afford to do that again, or else his race is over.
Yeah, it is. It's right there. Josh Parker out front. He's going to soon start catching some lap traffic, and I've always said that once the leader catches lap traffic, it's a danger at every corner. Man, he is close to that wall.
He is. He's running right alongside it. It looks like Shane Ewing's night might be over. That car is dropping like a rock. I think that engine, like I mentioned before, is pretty heavily damaged. Unfortunately, he had a great run going, but he's falling back now.
And you know, that's just attrition right there. The car definitely, after a while, just cannot keep pace with all, you know, the damage like it takes and all the hits that it keeps giving. Good racing going on here about the 13, 14 place spot, though.
Absolutely, and I just want to point out, you know, of the front 5 cars, you know who the fastest one is right now? The 41 of E.J. O'Rourke is the fastest car of those 5.
Well, they're yelling for it out there. We haven't done it in a while, but let's bring it out high and wide here. Let's go what we call the Blimpy cam. That's right, Blimpy. Everybody loves Blimpy. You don't like Blimpy, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Cause
I don't know what's wrong,
yeah. I mean, Blimpy's just a good word. It gives you a good perspective of the facility, the track, and just how far apart these guys are. They're not that far apart. And I tell you what, I just love Blimpy's just been a statement here at you know, OSRN for a long, long time, and I always like throwing out the Blimpy challenge. And here's one of the old classic Blimpy challenges. Don't go somewhere and go to your significant other, girlfriend, or whichever, and go up to them and say, "Hey, baby, you're looking mighty fine, Blimpy, tonight." Let me know how that works out for you. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Hey, maybe put it on to, you know, live or something. And, yeah, if we don't see you next week, you know you took the challenge. If we do, there we go. But, hey, there's your Blimpy cam. Let's go back to real life down here as these guys up front are having a good time racing it out. Josh Parker, he's loving it.
Oh, man, I'm loving this. That is, oh, man, that is a surefire way to lose your computer, lose everything else good in your life.
Yep.
To say you're looking awfully Blimpy today, baby.
Yeah.
E.J. O'Rourke is now closing in on the front 2 guys.
And Anthony DeBarro is going to want that lead. He's going to see if he can't maybe pin himself in between, and he dives on the inside. He knows time is running out as we're actually, we only got 12 left in this one, so it's go time. Top 3 guys.
You don't have time to mess around. This lap traffic is too wide in front of them. Those guys are racing for position. So they don't, you know, they're not going to move over. They got to run hard. As Parker dives into the bottom, he's got those cars between him. That's going to be a good advantage as DeBarro works his way around.
Wow, what a move, man, that Josh Parker made right there to get around him, but so did E.J. O'Rourke and Anthony DeBarro. All 3 machines got around him clean. It is closing in here. Go time. Does Anthony got enough? Josh is feeling the pressure there behind him.
I think that's the move of the race right there. He dove it all the way down to the bottom, held onto it, and worked his way around the lap traffic. 10 laps to go here. Josh Parker's got to hold off a hard-charging Anthony DeBarro's got to run on the inside. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. E.J. O'Rourke could get him on the outside here.
If he can get that nose up on the outside, but you see, Anthony blocked him.
And fuel.
What?
Josh
No
Parker
way.
looks like he's run out of fuel now. He's lost the lead. That car is out of fuel. He's going to have to go to the pits.
What a turn of events here with 8 to go. And he is definitely out of fuel. Josh Parker leading it. E.J. O'Rourke. Now, he lost a little ground. E.J. had to check up or he ran all over Anthony right there. But you've got also Chad Cole in the mix. Wow, just like that, Josh Parker had it all going the right way, and boom, over with.
Were you guys expecting a dull ending? The leader runs out with 10 to go. He must have been saving like crazy.
Now, can Anthony make it?
Can Anthony make it? EJ's the last one to pit. He's in the best position here. Anthony has to make it to the end. Another 6 laps on fuel. We have no idea up here if he's got enough. Oh my goodness, that could be everything.
He has not made a pit stop.
O'Rourke hits the wall there, overdriving it. He's got to do everything he can to get to the back bumper here and maybe push that 27 out of the way if he's got enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, because Anthony's been a while, right there, and I know that's got to be crossing his mind. I can't recall when the last time he made his pit stop Anthony DeBarro did. It has been a while back, though. But our leader, Josh Parker, with 8 to go.
Lap traffic.
Yeah, we got a ton of lap traffic. This could help EJ right here close in. Now, it also could help Anthony because he'll have to let off the gas to get around these guys, maybe save a little bit of fuel there. Wow.
This is huge. This is going to be interesting here at the end as those lap cars are all battling for position. He's going to have to take them 3 wide or leave the outside open to O'Rourke. I don't know what he's going to do.
I don't either. Here we go, closing in on the final turns here. About 2 to go. You can see right there. Man, they're modulating through that traffic. This is close.
O'Rourke is up in the wall. He needs something big here, and this lap traffic could be it. If that outside gets a run, O'Rourke could have it.
Oh, right there it was.
Run.
Over him, but he turned him. Both of them are turned.
Who's the leader?
Chad Cole, Kevin Brown, excuse me.
93.
Oh my God, white flag, no caution will fly either. They took the white flag, no caution. Kevin Brown.
Timothy Johnston won it.
Timothy Johnson, you're right, is going to come across the line. Well, we're going to have to go back and figure this thing out here in just a second.
Oh, my goodness. He won the race.
Let's go back here for a second on the replay and watch what transpired. Okay, EJ dove it down on the end between them with about 1 to go. Both the leader, Anthony, and them on turn 4, and Timothy Johnson just shot around them very, very close like and won this race. Wow, that is the only word I know to say on this one. Timothy Johnson coming home in victory lane. Kevin Brown and Chad Cole there in second. I would have never thought that would have ended like that. I mean, that was chaotic.
What did I tell you at the beginning? It's not the fastest car that wins the race. It's the first one across the line. The 28. Oh, my goodness, he came out of nowhere and wins the race as the top 3 cars all wrecked.
That was crazy. Crazy of a finish right there.
Yeah, the 27 just came up into the 41 not knowing he had the 00 on the outside. The 17 had nowhere to go. And the 93, what happened? Because I saw the 93 go by on the top of my screen, and that's why I called him.
And I did too, and the next thing I know, Timothy Johnson's there winning it.
Oh, the 93 hit the wall, and Johnston dove it low. Oh,
wow.
My goodness.
Right place, right time. That is just...
Can you believe it?
Right place, right time. That's all it is. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's bring some of these guys up here. Let's bring Chad Cole up here, and let's get a word in with him here. Third place man there, Jeff.
Chad Cole, this is Jeff up in the booth. You got a copy?
We got you, Jeff.
Oh, man, it sounds like you're as excited as we are. What an incredible finish there at the end. That was, what do you have to say?
I don't know, I was just riding there. Then Parker pulls off. That was totally unexpected. I was pretty sure that he was going to come down to him and DeBarro, and I was thinking that they were probably going to end up wrecking anyways and might get a second there, but I was really shocked when he pulled off. Then the lap cars, I'm really not sure what they're doing. Maybe they don't have spotters or the relative is broken or what, but it was really sad that they got involved, but I really don't know how I got a third there. I felt like I've probably been in about 4 different wrecks in that, so really just happy to finish one. It's been a rough Wednesday series for me. I've been in, I think, 3 wrecks in 5 weeks, so happy to get a good finish here and talk to you guys after the race.
Absolutely. I mean, we were losing our minds up here in the booth about what all was going on. I can only imagine the thoughts going through your mind, though. You were all the way down at the bottom, I imagine figuring they were going to wreck above you, so you were down at the bottom, and you just got that car fired back up, and actually did a couple donuts there now that I'm looking at it, got the car straight again, and finished. But my goodness, who do you have to thank for getting you there for a third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to you guys at OSRN for the work you do, and Nemesis Speed Lab for sponsoring the Wednesday series. It's cool to have great sponsors like that, and people put us out on the air like you guys. So appreciate everything you guys do, and Joey Jatina for the work he puts in with the series here, and Nick Silver, who's the Wednesday admin here too. So thankful for those guys. Thankful to have a good place to race here on Wednesdays.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a great third place run. That was quite the finish. I imagine you're going to go back and watch the replay just like everyone else. That was an incredible race. Great job keeping the car mostly in one piece there to the end. Great job on a third place run here tonight, Chad.
All right, yeah, there's more than one replay I want to look at. There's a whole bunch of wrecks tonight. They're pretty entertaining. All right, thank you guys.
Have a good night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third place man, Chad Cole, right there. I tell you, he was right, a wild one. Let's bring up this man. Second place, just out of nowhere, right place, right time. Kevin Brown, let's get a word in with him.
Kevin, this is Jeff up in the booth. You got me, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, we were absolutely losing our minds. I'm taking a look at your in-car view right now, and you just sort of came off of turn 2 and saw mayhem in front of you. Tell us what's going through your mind as you see the leaders wrecking, the 27 sliding up the track, and you go up to avoid him. What's going through your mind there?
Well, I was looking for a hole the whole time, and I found it on the outside there, and I think I would have had Tim if I didn't hit the wall trying to avoid DeBarro, but, you know, things happen.
Absolutely, and that was a crazy race, and you weren't, running in first place at all this race. I don't know if you led any laps or anything, but you were just consistent the entire time, kept the car pretty clean for the most part, and just found your way to the front at the end. You started in 22nd, raced your way up to second. I mean, I think by what I'm looking at, you were probably the third biggest mover of the race. Most positions gained. What was the secret to getting from the back to the front with as little damage as you had?
Honestly, luck. I'm getting lucky going through all these wrecks. Good Lord, it was a mess tonight.
I can imagine. Who do you have to thank for getting you up there to a great second place finish there with a chance at a win?
I'd like to thank Crossover. Obviously, you guys are putting it on. Always doing a great job. And thank Nemesis for sponsoring the series. And, yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
That sounds like a plan. I imagine you're going to go ahead and watch the replay there. This was quite a crazy race. A lot of time spent under caution. We ended up killing a lot of time up here in the booth, but boy, that ending did not disappoint. Congratulations on a great second place run there. You did a fantastic job tonight. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, there's Kevin Brown. Well, let's bring this guy up here. Right place, right time. Timothy Johnson, Joey at the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Man, I tell you what was going through your mind when all that transpired on the last lap?
Honestly, saw smoke. Everybody started spinning, and pretty much basically just followed Kevin through, and then he kind of bounced off the wall. I was like, all right, I'm going to get, second or third, and had no clue I won until I came across start-finish line. I did not know everybody got involved in that wreck.
You and us both. I tell you what, we were watching up there, and we didn't know until it flashed up that you'd won the race either, because it was so chaotic. It was wild. Now, going through earlier in the race, what was some of your feelings about? I mean, it was a wild race. Who had fun watching this thing? How was your car going on there? I mean, it looked like that place was just treacherous with the way it was bouncing around.
Yeah, it was pretty treacherous. Really wasn't much of a low line, so you really had to push it and try to basically do a slide job if you could get away with it to pass guys. The high line definitely was where it was at. Even on old tires, you saw even some cars that had damage could actually hold off guys with new tires on the top. So it was definitely a tough race.
Well, you pulled it off here tonight. You put it in victory lane in just a chaotic, wild finish here at Bristol for the Nemesis Lab K&N Series. Anybody you want to thank?
I would definitely want to thank Dizzy Motorsports for supporting me. I've had lots of computer issues as of late and internet, and I finally got everything fixed. Thank the guys at Sim500 for doing this, Nemesis Lab for sponsoring, and OSRN for putting out a great broadcast every week.
No doubt about it. I tell you what, you guys put on a fantastic race tonight. And again, there, Timothy Johnson, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, tell you what, Jeff, man, we're going to leave here, Bristol. I said it was a battle dome here. It definitely did not disappoint. Any final thoughts to that finish?
I'm a professional announcer. I call these races in real life, and I'm speechless right now. And if that doesn't say everything, it needs to, then I don't know what will. That was an unbelievable race from green to checkered. A lot of cautions there thrown in the mix. A lot of guys just racing hard. But that finish, man, I mean, we called the 93 as having won it. And then we look at the score sheet and we see the 28 on top. We're going, what the heck just happened? Oh, man, I I don't know how it could possibly get better than that, but I've been proven wrong many times when I've said that. I'm excited for next week.
No doubt. I tell you what, it was an awesome one here at Bristol under the lights. We're going to leave here for the K&N Series presented by Nemesis Lab and the Sim500. Again, congratulations to Timothy Johnson. Well, we're going to leave, and everyone, y'all have a good night. What a wild one here at Bristol. Tune in next week.